Hello and welcome back to Content Junkies, your home for all things content creation. I am your host, Austin Alvarez, joined by our co-host, Robert Condell. Robert, how are we doing today?
We're making content.
We're making content. That's what we should always be doing, and that's what we are always doing. So today's episode, Robert, is kind of a fun one because I feel like you and I have both been at both ends of the spectrum on this. We're literally going to title it, I don't have the best gear, wah, boo-hoo.
Okay, it's going to be a little bit ironic because we have the best gear right now.
We literally have thousands of dollars behind us in equipment.
Don't look at this. Look at this. I got an iPhone right now that I'm shooting behind the scenes, and I'm literally shooting my content for my stories, in return marketing myself, you know?
Correct. Yeah.
So you don't need the best gear. If you have an iPhone or whatever camera, I think any camera made in the 2015 and up is definitely good enough to start, right?
I would say so.
2004 maybe.
Now I'm looking up what my oldest camera
maybe
is.
2012.
When was this one?
I would say 2016. I'm just throwing numbers out.
2016. Okay. Yeah, I mean, to be fair, most cameras today you can find for pretty cheap and get a really good quality image out of them.
The only people who are really concerned about gear are the nerds like us.
Yep.
So if you're worried about you don't have the best camera or I don't have the best mics to start, you should be totally fine using your cell phone. And we have actually an influencer coming in today. She shot most of her stuff on a cell phone. We have another guy named Brandon from Vegas. He blew up in COVID.
He built his entire brand on iPhone.
So really, you don't need the best gear.
No. So we do have a couple of things that you could work on to help mitigate if you don't have the best gear. Number one.
Ooh, what's number one?
Learn how to shoot. Learn what it means to shoot. Shoot with a purpose. So if you are just going to go out and do a vlog, okay. My understanding of vlogs, though, is if you're not already somebody, you really got to work hard to get somebody to want to watch you vlog.
Okay, vlog is a type of format that
Correct.
is kind of like you're talking and you're doing your day-to-day things. And, sometimes people do get a little bored. I think vlogs only work if you're a celebrity.
Correct. Or if you're an influencer already, like Brandon from Vegas can make a vlog work.
Yep.
I feel like
no one's gonna tune into Rob's vlog because I would.
I tune into your YouTube channel, but
not a lot of people. So.
Yeah. So, but learning how to shoot is tremendous. So, if you're shooting with your iPhone, you can tell if your finger's right here and you're covering the lens. Chase, how many times have we had that happen?
Quite a few.
Yep. Chase is he's engineering today, but he is also a photographer. He is a content creator. But understanding how to shoot. So, don't have your finger in front of the camera. Mm-hmm. Understand placement of people. So you don't everybody, and like I was victim to this too. I thought I needed an FX6 to get cinematic quality.
Well, let's
footage.
go back on learning how to shoot, right?
Correct.
I think first thing I would tell people is if you're gonna shoot with your iPhone and you're doing talking to the camera type of stuff, do not look at yourself.
Look at the camera.
Look at the lens and make eye contact to the viewer. So there's a lot of, I'm sure we've all seen it.
Yeah.
And sometimes people don't even understand what that is until, when I'm directing them, I'm like, hey, you need to be looking at the lens, not at yourself, because it's, the audience isn't engaged, right?
Right. And so for all of you who are wondering if you want to zoom in, Chase, your screen is here, but your camera is up here. It's up in the top of your phone. Look up here when you're filming.
Yeah.
It's okay to glance down occasionally and look at, okay, am I in frame? That's another thing of learning how to shoot, knowing what your frame is, knowing where things are in your frame. If you don't want them in frame, if you don't have a zoom lens, step a little closer, bring it a little tighter. Or if you want more, step away, bring the phone back a little bit. You can get more in the field in your shot. So understanding that is extremely important to start, because if you're trying to film, but you're filming like this, and nobody's going to see it, they're going to be uninterested because it looks bad.
Can I say other stuff? Unless you have it on your list. But, a lot of people sometimes cover up their microphone by accident too. So then their audio is like a little muffled. So your microphone's down here if you want to zoom in, Chase. So don't put your phone on the table because it's going to be, the audio isn't going to pick up. I have this little Ring attachment, which is a water bottle tripod, not sponsored by Ring, but shout out to those guys. But basically, you want to keep your mic. It's not visible, but like in where audio
free and clear.
Yeah, free and clear. So there's no obstruction to the audio. So audio is actually, I think, even more important than the camera. You know, I would argue that the sound is way more important than video, because if you mute this and my lips are moving, the video doesn't make sense.
Correct. You can, and I remember in high school, I went to like a film. We had state for theater, and they had like a director come in and they talked to us, and he said, you can have bad footage, but you can't have bad audio.
Yeah, people will scroll up if the audio sucks.
Yeah, if you look a little hazy, but it sounds great,
it's okay.
They'll give you a pass. Yeah. They'll keep watching.
For sure.
Hence why we have these microphones compared with our cameras. The audio is tremendous every single time.
Especially if you are doing a podcast, then audio should be high up on your list, you know?
Correct.
I think lighting is also something people need to understand.
Yeah, but before we get to that, my list is a little all over the place.
Yeah.
Know your content before you start. So understand, what am I going to film right now? Am I going to film a vlog? Am I going to film an educational video? Am I going to film a how-to? Am I going to film a behind the scenes? Am I going to film, if you're somebody like me, am I going to film somebody training for their fight coming up? What do I need to make sure that gets shot well?
Yep.
It doesn't need to be, is my camera good? It needs to be, is the lighting okay? Is my framing okay? And this comes to my third point. Shot lists matter.
Okay.
Doesn't have to be fancy. I literally carry around, should have brought it in. I literally carry around a field notes little notebook with me everywhere.
Yep.
If I'm filming, because I'll write down, okay, this is beat 1, this is beat 2. And you can literally just, and if it's just for you, you can just write shot 1.
Basically,
Robert's sitting here.
Well, basically, Austin's, we're going to keep hammering this in, because I have to hammer this into sort of my clients too. Be prepared when you come in. We have a list of things to do. We have bullet points. We've done a little bit of research. We've talked ahead of time. We did pre-production. You know, coming from Hollywood, there's months of pre-production.
Yeah,
not saying you have to do
recently.
that. Yeah, not saying you have to do that, but just don't come in cold and unprepared. Especially if you're paying for like studio time here at Sticky Paws. Be prepared. You don't want to waste the engineer's time.
You don't want to waste your time.
And you don't also, for the sake of the content, you want to have value to what you're saying.
Correct.
So hopefully we're giving you guys some value.
Yeah. So, I'll cut this. No, I think we had an episode get bunched into here. But so with having all of this together, though, you don't need a $5,000 camera to make this work. You can, if you have a smartphone already, you're in pretty good standing already.
Yep. Just practice. It's about getting your reps in. Just make sure that for lighting wise, like make sure the light's in front of you and not the back of you.
Unless you're making a stylistic choice.
Sure. Yeah. If you're doing cinematic stuff, but like, you know, if you're filming with your iPhone, usually what will happen is the iPhone will choose whatever's brightest to expose. So I see a lot of people shooting with the window behind them. Turn around. That's lights right there. So turn around, have the window face you, and that way you're lit nice and bright, and people can see your beautiful face.
Yes. So with an actionable step here at the end of this video, I would say if you have your phone right now, record something. If you've been wanting to make that jump into making content, just do it. Just start making the content. You don't need these thousands of dollars worth of cameras behind us. You don't even need the newest and greatest iPhone. If you have a smartphone really in the last 5 years, 6 years, you're golden. It's going to record 1080p. It's going to look good. As long as your audio sounds good, you really aren't going to turn people off. And then just really know your content before you get in there.
Yeah. I think so too. Like, let us know in the comments if you guys have questions. We'll be more than glad to help you.
Yeah, and if you have a topic you want us to cover, you can do so. You can reach out to us at cjp@stickypawsstudios.com. Once again, that is cjp@stickypawsstudios.com. I check the emails. Robert will probably check them at some point. But I check them, and we can see if there's a topic that you bring up, and we're like, hey, that's actually a really good idea. I mean, we have a ton of them, but we only know what you guys want to hear when you tell us. So let us know down in the comments. Let us know down below. Until next time, everybody, take care.
All right. Peace, guys.